The California Golden Bears are coming off their biggest win of the season, an upset over fourth-ranked Utah. That keeps Cal undefeated as they go for 6 in a row right now on the Pac-12 Network. The future is clear and bright in Berkeley, where the California Bears now enjoying a dream season. They're unbeaten. They're ranked in the top 10, and they're coming off a big win against a rival and their highest score of the season. We have now reached the midway point in the gymnastics season, and California is the only remaining unbeaten team. The Bears beat Utah last week right here. They also have wins over Oregon State, Washington, and Stanford, and today they're back home in Haas to host the Arizona Wildcats live on the Pac-12 Network. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Bay Area. I'm Jim Watson alongside former UCLA star Janae Honest. I know you've seen California already. I just mentioned all their numbers. What is it that makes them so good?
You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Cal has been on the steady incline.
Yeah.
They're growing, they're improving, they're breaking records, and this program is finally getting the recognition they deserve.
Liz and Justin Howell maybe have something to do with that. I don't know. You can just look at the numbers and figure it out. So California is number 9 right now. They're ranked in the top 15 on all 4 events. And remember, they're doing all this without the great Kiana George, who's been out all year long, and she was going to be the marquee athlete for them. But others have stepped into the void. Andy Lee, Nevaeh D'Souza, both had incredible all-arounds last week against Utah.
According to the coaches, Nevaeh is a rock for this team. She puts in the work, she's a joy to coach, and her teammates really trust and believe in her, which is integral to being a team leader.
Yeah, she's got 10 top 3 finishes this year. She's got 61 career top 3 finishes, which just means she's clutch every night. She went 39.625 last week. It is the 4th highest all-around in California history, and she didn't even win the all-around against Utah because her teammate Andy Lee went 39.650. That is a powerful 1-2 punch.
You know, and Andy really has the sport running through her veins. She has improved her performance quality across the board, and she's got the numbers to show for it.
Yeah, 39.650. She had been in the 39.5s before, so she had shown that potential, but obviously it was a career night for her on a big night for California. They were good on all 4 events. In fact, their vault was 7th best in school history as well. California is really rolling right now. How about Arizona? Still looking for its very first win of the season, but the Gym Cats also coming off their high score of the season, and Allison Fears making a bid for Freshman of the Year.
Gosh, Allison is an amazing bar worker, and she also had a standout performance on floor last week, scoring a 9.9. She's an athlete that works smarter, but not harder, which is impressive as a freshman.
Yeah, and she went 39.350 in her all-around last week. She's still a teenager. Both teams coming off season best. Both teams healthy and hungry. Arizona for its first victory, and Cal may be closing in on its first regular season title ever in the Pac-12. Gym Cats and the Golden Bears next, live on the Pac-12 Network. Well, it is hazy in the Bay Area. Temperature's about 56 degrees, but this time of year in February, pretty nice. Inside Haas Pavilion, of course, it's a perfect 72. Arizona and the 9th-ranked Golden Bears of California. Will somebody go perfect today? Well, the chances are pretty good based on the statistics. Now, last year, for the entire year, the entire country had 31 perfect 10s. We already have 31 now, and we're at the midway point. In fact, Trinity Thomas for Florida had one the other night on floor earlier this year. Michigan had 3 on one event. I think there were 3 in a row on vaults. And then we just saw one on Friday night up at Utah. Crystal Issa with a 10 on the balance beam. I was there, and I can tell you she deserved that 10. Are they giving out too many 10s today?
You know, it's a conversation we've been having, and is it the gymnastics is actually getting better, or are they just throwing out 10s? But I really do think that the gymnastics is truly getting better. We're seeing the gymnastics greatly improve.
California starts on the vault in the Olympic order as we get our meet underway. This is Maya Bordas, one of 6 all-arounders in the meet today, 3 on each side.
That was a beautiful, clean Yurchenko full, and I just love how she keeps her body straight, and she's always prepped for that landing.
This has been Maya's most challenging event. She does have a victory this year, and 3 times has gone 9-8. Arizona begins as the visiting team on the bars.
She has a huge Tkachev coming up. Toe shoot. Just getting way above the high bar.
This is Emily Muller for Arizona, and she has struggled to get to 9-8 on this event. Looking now for a stick dismount, and she gets it. Might be her best of the year.
I can agree. I can definitely agree.
(9.85) for Bordas to start things off on vault. That ties her season high. Maddie Williams now. Maddie Williams, who made her debut last week on the vault, at a 9.85 against Utah off the bench. Liz Crandall-Howell there in the foreground blocking the landing, but I can tell you it was clean.
It was most definitely clean. She does keep her legs squeezed together. Also keeping her body straight. She had a slight hop forward, so the judges will take off for that, but overall, again, another great vault for Cal.
We'll check the scores again. Is she throwing Oski's head?
You know, I noticed Cal has the bear head, but then Arizona has sunglasses. So maybe the sunglasses for
you gotta have
stick
fun.
routines?
Yeah. Keep things loose. We saw that yesterday at the meet at Arizona State, where the Gym Devils had their best meet of the year. They went season high on all 4 events, and a season high, one of the highest scores in school history, in beating UCLA yesterday. And the Bruins had all kinds of troubles. And speaking of troubles, the judges going to go through the numbers again and make sure everything's right. So Bordas opens with a 9.85 on vault for California, which has been a great event for the Golden Bears. The 3rd best in the conference, they're 13th best in the country. And we're going to continuously refer to last week's big win over Utah here at Haas, where they put up a 49-3-5. It was the 7th best score on vault in school history. And in fact, it was the 7th best overall score in school history as well, as they went 197-525. Serena Linton second up for the Gym Cats of the U of A on bars.
Beautiful first handstand. Caught a little close on that Tkachev. Good transition. She was prepping for her dismount, double layout. Just a slightest scooch forward.
Yeah, that's all it was. It wasn't even a hop. It was a scooch. All right.
So you'll notice on Tkachev, some gymnasts get a lot of height, and then there are some where they kind of almost scrape the bar a little bit. So she didn't get much amplitude just because she didn't open her shoulders enough to get that pop from the bar. The bars are bouncy, so you do need to use those bars to help you when you're doing skills.
9.75 for Williams, and here comes Andy Lee, who we talked about at the top. Andy Lee coming off the 3rd best all-around in school history last week against Utah, and starts off with a great vault today.
Goodness, she has stunning form, and again, keeps her body straight, and she flares open, which is why she's able to be prepared for that landing.
So the last 3 have all been at least 9.8. This one's going to be at least 9.8.
Notice how she opens her hips right before her feet hit the ground. It's important.
I'm liking the Oski head. That's kind of a new thing. I don't know if they did that against Utah.
I wish we had a bear head. I want to be a part of this trend.
And again, waiting on the scores here at bars. So Muller went 9.725. And now the score for Linton about to be put into the computer, and then it should be Malia Hargrove. Now 3 all-arounders, and there it is, 9.65. 3 all-arounders for Arizona. Muller, Fears, and Malia Hargrove. Big field in the all-around today. Hargrove's had some trouble on this event of late. Her best in 9.8, but that came early in the year. In fact, their opening meet.
The only thing I've noticed, she did finish that full pirouette past the handstand, so the judges will take off for that. Here she goes for the dismount.
Got to hold on to the landing. That is by far her best in a month. Good for her. She's in the all-around today for the 3rd time this year. She's had a mix of all 4 events, but 4 straight rough meets for her. We'd like to see her be clean all day long. 9.85 for Andy Lee. So Lee is out of the gate quickly. And here comes Nina Schunk. Schunk, the 5th-year senior, has a win on vault. All 5 have been 9.8 or better.
Again, she flares her body. Her air awareness is just impeccable when she does that Yurchenko full. She has the height, the amplitude, and look, again, she stretches her body out, ready for that landing. She was a little bit forward, so she may have had a scooch, but the bare head was awarded. 17
career wins. She's always in the top 3. We talked about it at the top of the show. This is the difference with California. Even with Kiana George out for the year, they have gotten deep on all 4 events. So when they go to the bench, you hardly even notice. 9.875. Oh, that was Dietz. That's right. That was Dietz in that 3rd spot because they moved Hargrove to the anchor spot. My fault. I should have brought us up to date on that. Got the note just before the change. So that was Dietz, and now here's Bailey McCabe, and then we'll have Fears and Hargrove at the back end. This is McCabe's only event of the day.
Jam-packed routine, longer than most college bar routines you will see. Beautiful full pirouette. Double A dismount with a hop back.
Well, if it's your only event, you might as well stretch it out, right? Milk it for all it is.
That is true. She's gonna do a piked Jaeger. Lots of height, and again, piked Jaegers are a little more difficult than straddle because your legs are covering your face when you're trying to reach back for that bar.
Schunk goes 9.85, so back-to-back 9.85s, 3 of them already in the order. Remember, you can drop your low score. Nevaeh de Sousa, 25th in the country, rolling 5 straight 9.8s or better on this event. Holds on, little hop backwards. Other than that, very nice.
She just has a ginormous 1.5. She does have a little form break right when she goes on the table, but she squeezes those legs right together and gets that college finish.
Coming off a career high against Utah last week, 9.95. I don't know if she'll get quite that much, but it should be 9.9 or better here. California trying to raise the banner for the first time this year. They have never won the regular season or the conference championship. Remember, there's a conference meet in West Valley coming up. It's March 19th, 9.725 for McCabe. And we talked about Allison Fears at the top of the show. I would say a star of the future, but I think she's already arrived. Allison Fears all around in all but the first meet. She had season highs of 9.875, 9.9. She just went 39.350 and an all around. So the numbers are good already, and they keep growing. Nice Jaeger.
It's a beautiful Tkachev, so high above the bar. Saves that handstand. She'd have a form break, so the judges may take off for that. I just love seeing how beautiful her knees and toes are, just so elegant. Beautiful double layout.
Little split leg landing. You know, I heard you say before the meet, we were just watching highlights of her and watching her warm up. You said she looks like a gymnast. What do you mean?
There's just a certain look that you can tell when you just look at her. Yes, she looks like a gymnast. There's a, I don't want to say an aesthetic, but you know, she has the whole package.
D'Souza went 9.95 last week against Utah, backs it up with a 9.9. And Milan Klasi now back in the lineup. She missed the Utah meet with illness. Talked to her before the meet. She says she's ready to go. Klasi, 3 straight 9.8s or better on vault. Put that one on the list. I love the reaction of Liz Crandall-Howell right there in the landing pit, pumping her fists and screaming at Milan. That's exactly what we know you're capable of.
She's able to do a 1.5, but she kept it out of Yurchenko full today. Very solid, clean, and ready for that landing.
Bolton with a chin mask on? I guess now everybody's used to it now, huh?
I don't think I could get used to that.
I tried to go with the chin hammock for a while, and it just drives me crazy.
The chin hammock?
Yeah,
wow.
You know, when you just leave it down, as if to say, I've got it if anybody has a problem. 9.75 for Fears. And now we should get to the aforementioned Malia Hargrove, who was scheduled to go in the 3 spot, and they bumped her down to the anchor. Maybe it's one of those just in case by John Court, the head coach, just in case we need one good score at the end, and actually they do. Serena Linton went 9.65, so they want to drop that score. Anything better than 9.65 is going to improve the rotation.
A little short on that first handstand. She tried to fight it on that full pirouette. Hit that last one. She did hit that last handstand. Full twisting double back. She landed a bit on her heels, so she had to take that hop, but I think that will be a better score than Serena.
Well, before when Dietz was up and I misidentified her as Hargrove, we told you that Hargrove has been struggling of late, so getting through it clean and then building from there, and gets a nice hug from Peter Jansen, the assistant coach in his second year in Tucson. So we'll give you the numbers when we come back. California in the driver's seat, the only undefeated team in conference and looking for its first Pac-12 championship in the regular season. Elena Dietz, I missed her the first time she came up, so we're going to give a look back at it. For the second week in a row, she ties her season high of 9.825 on the bars.
She didn't have to slow down her training to keep her body healthy, but she is in a better place mentally. Her love for the sport has grown tremendously, and today she showed out.
Yeah, beautiful for Dietz. It's the 3rd time this year she's gone 9.825. We'll see her later on the beam as well. Nevaeh D'Souza in the 5 spot for California went 9.9.
I mean, she's just so consistent with this ball, and it's such a joy to see her hit, you know, vault after vault, meet after meet. Just consistency is so important when it comes to college gymnastics.
Top 25. Told you coming in, she'd gone 5 straight at 9.8 or better, so that make it 6 in a row now. And she had the 9.95 against Utah last week. So the 9.9, the good score. Here's the Arizona bars. And again, the only score to reach the 9.8 mark was Dietz. So it comes out as a 48.8 for Arizona. It's above their average for the year and just under their season high. They've got 49 one time this year on that event. They'll move over to vault. The vault has not been kind to Arizona. They have not hit 49 yet this season. Meantime, for California, over on the vault, they went 49.3, which is just under last week's season best 49.350 against Utah. Still in warm-ups. California on the bars is 5th in the country, and they are the best team in the conference. They are averaging a 49.4 on bars. And against Oregon State earlier this year, 49.475. California has beaten 3 ranked teams already this season. They still have a couple more in front of them, leading after 1 at Haas.
I think we've all thought through our goals, and one of our goals is definitely to make it to nationals and make it to that second day finals. So, but personally, my goals as an individual, I don't really think about too often, just because, like, you know, collegiate gymnastics is a team sport. So we want to make nationals as a team. But when I think about a goal individually, I definitely think I've been inspired by my teammate Emmy, and I definitely want to get a 10 at some point in my career. Hopefully, you know, I just had, this is my last season, so hopefully that can happen. preferably on bars. So.
Yeah, bars, of course, her signature event. She is the reigning NCAA champion, currently ranked 27th. She's had a partial 10. She got a 9.975, so one of the judges gave her a 10. It was all part of that NCAA record-tying score against UCLA last year, where they went 49.825 in the rotation on bars.
Just insane. So
yeah,
good.
I wasn't sure the scoreboard went that high, but they were just, you know, look, you mentioned it in the open. This is not sudden. They are not an overnight success. This has been building ever since Liz and Justin Howell took over this program 10 years ago. And keep in mind that this is a program that back in 2010 was on the chopping block. They were going to drop it along with 3 other sports here in California. They went to the alums, the donors, and said, do you want to save these sports? And the community responded. They saved it. They brought in Justin and Liz. They took over this program and began to build it with locals, and then that ripple effect, people wanted to come here. Of course, it's one of the best academic schools in the country, so it recruits itself, but you had to get the gymnasts in the building. And they all belong now.
And like you mentioned, the academics, you know, Justin wanted the athletics to match the academics of the program. So it's just really great to see how much this program has grown. And, you know, going back to Maya, she wants that 10. And I think she's fully able to achieve that. She just needs to let her body do what it knows how to do. Don't put too much pressure on herself and trying to be perfect, because then you're going to overthink it. So I think she'll definitely be able to hit that goal at some point in the season. John
Court, 4th season as the U of A head coach. And he circles the wagons here and says, listen, we're in this meet. We're coming off a season best. Let's not worry about wins and losses, because they actually don't matter in gymnastics. What matters is your NQS, your national qualifying score. You see the start values there. Nobody with a 10. All 9.95s, but that's fine. You want to go down there, you want to put up a big score. They haven't hit 49 this year. I think this is an important moment for Arizona in this meet. They've gotten 49s multiple times on all the others. So they started off with Allison Fears.
Pretty good start. She does need a little more block off that table.
She has not reached 9.8 this year. She's gone 9.75 3 times, but she has not come out of the pit with that kind of smile, so maybe she thinks this is the day she had that breakout. Lineup for California: DeSouza, Shunk, Lee, Williams, Bordas, and Perea. And Perea's a good story. Again, opportunities last week, and a couple of Cal gymnasts really stepped up. Perea, one of those, Williams. But let's concentrate on DeSouza here, who just came off that 9.9 on vault.
Such a beautiful handstand to start off the routine. It sometimes seems like it's an exclamation point, just like that, right there. She's so clean. She had the difficulty. That was a good one. She did have a hop back, but it was great.
Well, 4 times she's gone 9.8. She's coming off a season high 9.875 against Utah last week.
She can have a cup of
Vertical.
coffee up there.
Yeah. Total control. Well, DeSouza has grown up before our eyes. Local kid, Fairfield. It's about 20 minutes up the freeway from the Berkeley campus. Fears went 9.8, so that is her best of the year on vault. Wait for the score on DeSouza.
Caroline has nice form, good distance on the Shevchenko full.
Caroline Harry.
She did land with her chest down a little bit, so the judges will take off for that.
And she too trying to reach 9.8 on vault for the first time this year. Had a 9.775 in a quad meet. Second of the year, second meet of the year. 9.75 against Arizona State last week.
Yeah, she didn't get much amplitude off of the table, so that's why she ended up needing to have that chest down a little bit.
.985 for DeSouza to go with her 9.9 on vault. And again, she's in that battle for the all-around. Nina Shunk. Shunk had a 9.85 on vault. An All-American on this event last year and has gone 9.8 3 times this season, including a 9.925 against Oregon State.
Beautiful piked Jaeger, directly connected into a bell. And I just love how her knees and toes are squeezed together. Beautiful execution. Her feet were a little in front of her when she landed, so she had to take the hop back, but I believe she will get the bear head.
That's what we're looking for now?
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, if you get the bear head, you've done something special today. Caroline Harry, 9.75, so her hunt for a 9.8 continues. LaRusso. And I'm checking the sheet, and I think it'll be LaRusso's only event of the day, so make it count. And she does. Well, nothing wrong with that.
Very dynamic. She's very quick off the horse with the twist. She did have a little form onto the table, but she was ready for that landing. And she's very happy.
Back-to-back 9.85s to Sousa and Shunk. So again, California out quickly. They started well on vault and finished strong. The numbers continued to go up as they got deeper into the lineup, and Lee was part of that with a 9.85.
She is spectacular on this event. Floats to the low bar. Her execution is incredible. And again, the handstands are so very important. And she hits them. Double tuck. Finds that stick, gets those heels together.
Well, you can see that Andy Lee is just peaking right now. You know, everything for her is going well, coming off that season and career high 39.650 against Utah last week. Just feeling it, so much confidence. Look at the height, look at the distance, and a soft landing. Sister Anna, of course, former UCLA star, U.S. national team. By the way, that 9.725 for LaRusso, that is her debut performance this year. That's the first thing she's done all year long, and a freshman, so that was her collegiate debut. Here comes Emily Muller, the all-arounder, backing her right up. So Arizona now starting to get some traction on vault.
She has a lot of height, good form on that Yurchenko full. Best one we've seen so far.
She's gone 9.8, but not over 9.8. That seems to be that line of demarcation for Arizona. They got to start turning those 9.7s into 9.8s. 9.925 for Lee. So Lee currently leading the all-around because Lee also had a 9.85 on vault. Maddie Williams now. Maddie Williams made her debut on vault last week, had a 9.85 against Utah. But on bars, all 5 of her performances have been 9.85 or better.
Beautiful form. Hit that last handstand.
The teammates really reacting to it now too. Janelle McDonald, the assistant coach, right there. Loved it.
And you can really tell how Cal has really dialed in on those handstands because a lot of them are hitting that vertical.
If you were with us yesterday, you saw this happen as the bear head goes on with Arizona State. You know, it's just like a little spark, and then it turns into a flame, then it turns into a blaze, and it just spreads throughout the lineup. So if you start well and finish strong, you're going to get a big number. Going back, Danny Nosek for Arizona.
Another great vault, clean. She's ready for that landing. It's really important to turn over your round off so you can get good pressure on your hands, and she was able to do that.
And just before her, Muller score came up with a 9.8. So they have a couple of 9.8s and a 9.75. Nosek score to come, and then Malia Hargrove in the anchor. And Williams goes 9.875. So she continues to roll on bars. And Maya Bordas, you heard the sound. She wants a 10. She said it out loud. I love athletes that just say it. She's the NCAA champion, so she's got some room to grow. I mentioned she had a 9.975 against UCLA last year, so one of the judges gave her a 10. Now she wants a 10. She's calling for it. She wants it from both judges. She wants to be perfect.
She's absolutely stunning on this event. Notice how she rises and floats above the bar on that release.
She get vertical.
I think she hit it.
All she needs now is a dismount. Is it a called shot? Oh my goodness! She might have called it. Her teammates think so. The crowd thinks so. How about you, Janae?
They're cheering for it. I'm also cheering for it.
Are we looking for the 32nd 10 of the collegiate gymnastics season? Look at this.
So very
There's
good.
nothing wrong with that.
So very good. I'm still stuck on her release move. It's just...
The
it
only
blows
question
my
I had
mind.
was whether she got vertical on that handstand. You thought she did.
Yeah, it was just that last handstand.
Yep. And how ticklish that the judges want to be about it, but I love it. I have never seen a gymnast call for the 10 leading up to a meet. Now, she didn't say exactly I want it today, but she said I want to get one before I'm done. But she said it this week. So we know it was in her mind. Now all I have to do is wait for the scores to come in, and they're taking their time. Meantime, across the way, Nosek goes 9-8, so the score's getting better. So that's 3 9/8s for Arizona. They got a chance at a 49 for the first time with Malia Hargrove. Hargrove on vault. This is only a third of the season. Had a 9.85 earlier. Just a little short, landed on the toes.
She did have her body closed off the entire twist. You'll notice that her hips were piked, so that will indeed slow your rotation down. Notice right here, as she exits the horse, she just pikes down, and you really need to flare your body out to be able to land vertical and be ready for that landing.
I believe she would need a 9.825 to get them to 49. And they had already booked a 48.875 and then trying to improve on a 9.725. Bordas, they gave her a 9.95. Well, we begged for it as much as we could.
There's only so much we can do.
Gabby Perea. That would have been epic. Perea made her debut last week on this event against Utah. Come off the bench with a 9.9. Justin Howell and I talked about it before the meet. He said it was one of the really bright spots for them in a big meet on a great day.
I talk about handstands, and she hit them all with the stick. Maybe a little scooch forward, but she's happy with it.
Well, that's fantastic. So a sophomore who missed all of last year makes her debut last week both on bars and floor, went 9.9 on bars, 9.825 on floor, comes right back today in the anchor spot on bars and puts up another great score. So this is the difference between California in the past. Before they had 2 or 3 stars. Now they have 6 on every event and a deep bench. California rolling. Second rotation in a row that Arizona does better than their average. It went 48.875. Emily Muller, the all-arounder, a 9.8. This is what Arizona needs. They need more 9.8s.
More 9.8s, exactly what you just said, and she was able to deliver. And I believe you mentioned that this was her finally breaking out of that 9.7 range.
Yeah.
So they're getting 1% better every day.
Well, this is the time of year. We just hit the midway point, so the 48.875 for them is above their season average of 48.8. They have still not hit 49, but they're getting closer and they're getting more consistent. And you still have a couple of meets. They're going to go home and host Utah next week. California is at Arizona State and then at UCLA. So 2 road meets against 2 really good ranked teams. UCLA, I know, had a rough day yesterday. Arizona State had their best day of the year. California just went 49.450, so just like on vault, it is their second highest score of the year, 49.450. They went 49.475 on bars last week against Utah. And Maya Bordas, who's been calling for the 10, didn't get it from either judge today, but they still gave her the 9.95. I personally think it was better than that.
Yeah, you know, like we said, gymnastics is a very subjective sport. Gosh, that release move, again, gets me every single time. But Maya is just, she's so consistent, and she's proven herself at the national level. And again, I think that 10 will come at some point this season.
So the scores up and down the lineup really good for California. De Sousa and Shunk both had 9.85s. 9.875 for Williams. Andy Lee had the best with a 9.925. And Perea with a 9.85 that came in late, so it all adds up to a 49.450. That's 98.75 midway, which is on pace for 197.5 for California, right on the number for a season high score.
You know, it's usually Liz says to me, "Hey, Justin, I have a great idea." And I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" Because we've been talking all day long. And in the beginning, I probably don't really hear her. And then the next day, lo and behold, in the gym, I'm doing exactly what she had suggested to do, and it's working. And she kind of looks at me and gives me a little chuckle. You know, we absolutely love gymnastics. We love being and working with each other, and we are constantly talking about our team. And it really does go home with us at night. It's not a burden to talk about. We really enjoy it. I think that that's a luxury that not everybody has. That we're constantly having a team meeting, you know, whether we know it or not. And you know, Liz is a brilliant technician, a brilliant coach, and we love bouncing ideas off of each other. At the end of the day, I just do what I'm told, and you know that seems to be working. So we'll stick with it.
Spoken like a true married man. Listen, I know you're young. You haven't gone down this path yet. I've been married now for 10 years. My wife's awesome, and I'm nodding along with everything Justin says. It's true. My wife will say something the night before. The next day I do it, and I sell it as my own idea. You might as well. But we should all be as wise to listen to our wives. And, you know, Justin had gotten a lot of credit when they first came over. And working with Amanda, she would always say to me, "Don't forget about Liz," because Liz is out there doing the exact same thing. It's a 50-50. We've seen a lot of this in the conference. Jay and Jess Santos down at Arizona State. Of course, the chaplains up at Oregon State. So this is not a new thing in gymnastics. But to work with your wife or your husband all day long and then go see them again. And remember, they have 3 sons as well. Jacob, Noah, and Grayson. So they have a full life as well. And that's a lot of time together, and you better get along, and you better agree. But they have built this program together, and I love Justin's grin, because any guy who's married knows exactly what he's talking about. He's standing right in front of us right now. I know what you're talking about, brother. I'm right there with you. They've been incredibly gracious, especially with neophytes like me when they came here explaining this sport and what they were trying to do. And they've done it. We've already mentioned it a couple of times today, but hey, tip of the cap, and California is having their dream season, on pace right now to win a Pac-12 regular season title for the first time ever and go to the Pac-12 championships as the #1 seed. Third rotation, and California moves to the balance beam, and they're ranked in the top 15 on all 4 events. They average a 49.1 here. They're ranked 15th nationally, 4th in the conference. Their best came against Stanford, 49.350, and Nevaeh D'Souza starts off the rotation. D'Souza right now 3rd in the all-around standings. And she already won the vault.
She is so very fluid, flowing from one skill to the next. Like I mentioned, she is a team leader. I believe she's on the coaches council. Beautiful front aerial. Very difficult sheet jump. And I've noticed too, when it comes to series, you'll notice some gymnasts will bring their arms right down to their side immediately, or they will leave them up. So it really just depends on the preference, and also just knowing how they can best control the skill. This routine is so far so good. All is left to dismount, 1.5.
You know, she looked like an upperclassman. She was not rushed. She broke that into parts, connected where she had to, wasn't rushed. it just was problematic, just went through it one at a time and just checked all the boxes. Be interesting to see the score on that one. Arizona goes to the floor in the third rotation as a visiting team. Ranked 26th in the country. They're averaging a 49-1. And last week, their best of the year at home against Arizona State, 49-3-5-0. And start off with a cat call.
She is a performer. She gets it. She's using her personality to the point where she outperforms people, and this is what we're going to see right now. Great first pass. Notice that she had a bit of a rise on that second flip, the 1.5.
Orman, a floor specialist this year for Arizona, has been solid on all of her performances this year. Season high 9-8 at Cedar City against Southern Utah in the season opener. Head coach Sean Court in the background, keeping a close eye. Stays in, plenty of room.
Her front foot did slide a little bit.
It's a good start, what you want in the leadoff, right?
Exactly what I was about to say, good start.
You know, up and down the lineup, there are different roles, and the role of a leadoff is, of course, don't make any mistakes, post a good score, get us rolling, just like D'Souza just did. Nevaeh D'Souza goes 9-8-7-5. Maddie Williams, second up, has already begun.
Starting off with a very difficult double wolf turn.
Fourth time she's been on the beam this year. 3 times 9-8-5. Well, actually, she's gone 9-8-2-5 or better 3 times.
Beautiful flick lay, just a little off balance. She's able to cover it well by bringing those arms by her side. Beautiful leaps. It's really important to get that back leg up to hit that 180. That's what the judges are looking for. I also love how very focused she is on this event. You can see it in her face. She's very dialed in.
At a 9-8-5 against Utah on this event. Going to be right in that neighborhood.
Here's her series. It's a back handspring, back layout, step out. You notice that front foot's a little turned in, but she was able to cover it up and recenter herself.
Orman 9-7-7-5. That's just what she's been posting all year long, so they know what to expect. Emily Muller now.
She brings a lot of power to this event.
Her last 2 times on the floor, she has bumped her career best. 9-8-5 against Arizona State last week. First tumbling pass, clean.
Beautiful double pike. I was going to mention she really needed to dial in on her landings a bit more, but she nailed it on that one.
Little Charleston, I think. I expect the Carlton. I don't expect the Charleston when I watch floor. That's nice. Be different. Get our attention.
I just smiled and nodded when you said Charleston. I don't have any reference for that.
Google it.
It's a very good routine so far. All she has is the last pass. Double tuck. little short, had to step forward.
Well, now you know why she's been on a roll lately. That is a fun routine, high energy, lots to it, lots of personality in there. And with the exception of the landing on the second tumbling pass, everything else very clean. Meantime, Williams posted 9.875, so back-to-back 9.875s for California on beam. And you mentioned it before, so now I want to watch. Is everybody for California approaches beam with that same business-like, calm attitude? Milan Klasi has been great on the beam for a long time. Her last two have been 9.8 or better, had a 9.9 against Oregon State. Mentioned she missed the Utah meet. Former Pac-12 Freshman of the Year.
Great flick lay. And you mentioned, you know, you were asking if they all approach the beam with this focus, and I think Milan does the same thing because she's very steady. You know what to expect from her. She's very inquisitive when it comes to this sport, so it was really fun to coach her.
There is no fear in her eyes when she's on the beam. She makes you feel comfortable. She knows what she's doing.
That used to be in her old floor routine. I love that she put that on 4 inches. That's so impressive. Side aerial, back tuck.
Come on, how good is that?
So very good.
She was in control of that routine before she even mounted the beam. No surprises, just worked through it.
Another look at the dismount. Tuck full.
There are certain athletes, and we saw this the other night with Crystalisa, who got the 10 at Utah. When they get on the beam, you can relax and just enjoy it because you know they're staying on, you know they're in complete control. And that was a perfect example of it. Muller, only a 9.725. I'd have given her a little bit better than that, but nobody asked my opinion. Danny Nosek. We saw Nosek on the vault. She had a 9.8 in the second rotation.
She's really come into her own more. Confidence really increased in this sport.
She's been good on this event in the past, but she's had issues of late. Looking for a nice, clean routine. Oh.
Had to
Steps out.
Steps out of bounds. So that'll be an extra 1/10 deduction in her overall score.
Something's just off on this floor for her this year. She had a couple of 9.8s on floor last year. But still working out the kinks. Final tumbling pass.
Front full, that one was clean.
Well, besides the step out, which we know is big deduction, the rest of it I thought was pretty good.
I think so too. She had control on the first and last pass. It was just that middle one. She had to jump out of bounds. She was maybe had a little too much power. Sometimes you don't really want to second guess yourself when it comes to tumbling on the floor.
Klasi just tied a season and career high on beam with a 9.9. It's the 4th time she's gone 9.9 in her career, and the 2nd time this year. There's Maya Bordas. So the scores for Cal, very good so far. 9.875 twice and a 9.9, and they hand to Bordas.
She's very graceful on this event. Really just lets her body do what it knows how to do.
It's a big score. She's reliable on this event. 4 times she's got 9.8 or better, including a 9.9 against Stanford. It's a combination.
Flick lay. Right on.
Solid.
Solid full turn. You never want to underestimate that skill. may look very simple, very easy. Backhand spring. Gainer layout full.
That's 4 good ones in a row. Well, if they average a 9-9 through the lineup, they're going to go 49-5, which would be a season high. They're just a touch under that right now. 9-6 for Nosek. Once again, Allison Fears, one of our all-arounders. Fears has a 9.75 on bars, a 9.8 on vault. And Fears on floor for the 5th time this year. The other 4 have all been 9.8 or better. And coming off her career high 9-9 at home against Arizona State a week ago.
Great double tuck to start it off, and we were talking about landings earlier with Arizona, and Allison is an athlete that has control on her landings. You know, she really dials it in, has the air awareness, she knows where she is and where she needs to land. Beautiful 2.5. Now she's going to bring elegance, slow it down a bit so she can catch her breath. One and a half punch front full, a little more difficult than the 1.5 just regular front layout we usually see. I think that's one of my favorite combination passes.
You know, the more I see of Allison Fears, the more you like, and then you have to continue to remind yourself that she is a true freshman, still a teenager. Maya Bordas, 9.95. Well, California's on pace for its best beam rotation of the season, which would set them up going into floor for another season high as a team, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's sit back and enjoy Andy Lee on the beam. Beam's been great for Andy this year. 4 times she's gone 9.875 or better. 9.925 against Stanford.
She's absolutely stunning on this event. Here's her series coming up. Right on. Little loose in the back knee on both of those flips.
Judges see that? Good cover there.
Yeah, that was a good shoot jump. Again, you're taking your eyes completely off the balance beam when you do that jump, and she's a bit off center.
Hold on to it.
Held on to that dismount.
Well, it was really good. Let's see if they score it there or is great. That's going to be another good number for California, and Watterson in the anchor spot. Fears went 9.9 on the floor. So for Fears, all 5 of her floors now have been 9.8 or better. Caroline Harry. We saw Caroline in the vault lineup earlier with a 9.75. She's on a hot streak on the floor. 3 of her last 4 have tied a season and career high with 9.875. So she's really feeling herself right now on floor.
Good double tuck to start off. She had to slide that front foot a little bit. She had a bit too much of power. John Court described her as a really, really good gymnast. She just knows how to compete at a high level under pressure. Beautiful leaps. Good control on that combination pass. Shiva setting up for her last pass. She's going to need a good landing here. And she gets it.
Another solid performance by the Gym Cats on the floor, and they still have Malia Hargrove, who was an NCAA finalist a year ago in the anchor spot. This is their best event as a team.
She had complete control on that landing. She knew it. You could see it in her face right there.
Every week, Arizona has bumped its season average on this score from 48.825 all the way up. In fact, now a season best on floor, 49.350. So they've raised their team average more than a half a point since the season began on that event. Wolf turn, double. Nope. Was she trying to go for a triple? Looked like she was trying to stop herself.
No, I think she was trying to keep it at a double, but it seemed like she was a little off balance. Again, I have to emphasize that double wolf turn is very, very difficult. She's right on that series, so.
Well, it's a tough break for California. She's been right around 9.875 the last couple times up. California has already gone 49.475 in the beam. They were looking to improve here. So it is by far a season high already for California.
Finished it off strong.
You know, it's just a missed opportunity. It's not going to really show up in the box score because they post such a big number. But you know that Liz and Justin Howard are thinking, what if?
Because she has the potential to go, 9-9 plus.
I mean, 49.475 is huge for them. Cal's best before this was a 49.350. Harry went 9.925 for Arizona, and now here comes Hargrove, the NCAA finalist from a year ago, on floor. Hargrove coming off her season and career best 9.9 on floor last week.
We're going to see an E-pass from her. She brings the difficulty. Full in, right on.
Arizona trying to go 49 plus for the fourth week in a row. I would say that's a safe bet with Hargrove.
It's a unique combo pass. She does a whip pass into a front full. It's not very often you see a whip pass in the floor exercise. Prepping for the last pass, and I have to mention again that the coaches describe her as an athlete that is high productivity.
She's in, she stays in.
And low maintenance. She did stay in.
Malia Hargrove.
Sometimes you got to figure out if you want to put that heel down or not when you feel close to the border.
Hargrove had been in the 9.7s on her first two events, so this is going to be her best of the day as the first pass.
Beautiful E-pass. It's a full twisting double back. The only E-pass we'll see in that floor lineup. Just gives her extra points, greater risk, greater reward.
So it's a good rotation for Arizona on the floor. We'll add it up in a second. They're going to go for 49 for the fourth straight week. But California, even with the problems by Watterson in the anchor spot, 49.475. It ties for the second best beam score in school history. Wow, what a year it has been for California. It has turned into a bear market. Cal Women's Gymnastics is celebrating Pac-12 Conference Inclusion Week today. The Bears warmed up wearing the customized t-shirts to help celebrate diversity. And the Arizona Wildcats also have special leotards for today as well. It's all part of a conference-wide effort this past week to recognize all members of the community. We all belong. Well, it has turned out to be a pretty good day on both sides. And again, this is the great thing about gymnastics. You can actually have two winners. And as California rolls, and we'll talk more about their beam set here in a moment, Arizona on the floor ends up with a 49-250. Hargrove got a 9.925 to close that out, so they close with two 9.925s for a 49-250. It's their fourth straight 49, well above their average, not quite to a season best. But floor is the best event again today for the Gym Cats of the U of A. Meantime, for California on the beam, well, D'Souza and Williams opened with the 9.875s, then Clossy right there with the 9.9. Maya Portis 9.95, Andy Lee 9.875, and of course Watterson had the problem early, so she ends up with the 9.2. They drop it 49.475. Obviously, it's the season best. It is the second best score all time. It ties what they had in a quad meet back in 19, just short of their 49.5 against UCLA in March of 21 of last year. So California continues to put up big numbers, and you wondered if there was any letdown after the big win over Utah. Stop wondering. They're on fire again today. Later today, more Pac-12 women's gymnastics. Number 4, Utah in Seattle against the Gym Dogs. That's coming up 6 o'clock Pacific. I believe that's Rich Burke and Lisa Mao in that one. California and Arizona State on Sunday. We just saw Arizona State yesterday. Arizona State has moved up today. The rankings come out on Road to Nationals, and they are number 15 after being number 20 yesterday. How do they jump it? Well, maybe Hannah Sharp helped out on the floor. Hannah Sharp went 9.925. It was Hannah Sharp's 21st birthday. They were against UCLA. They had not beaten UCLA since she was in diapers. March of 2001 was the last time. And then Hannah White and Sharp went crazy yesterday. Emily White ends up winning the all-around with a 39.6. They ring the victory bell, so Sharp celebrates her 21st birthday. White wins the all-around. They have season-high events on all 4, and they have their best score of the year, and one of the best scores in school history, and it all adds up to not only a victory. They might end up actually dropping the score, because when the national qualifying scores are done, you drop your high score of the year, but it does raise them, and they jump from number 20 to number 15 in a 24-hour period. Meantime, California has a chance to put up another big number today. More on that on the other side of break. What once was a liability in Berkeley is maybe now their best event, because it's the toughest event. Maya Portis on the balance beam, so many big scores. She had the best, a 9.95.
She's absolutely on fire today. And like you mentioned, she wanted that 10, but you know, she's really proving herself on each event, and I can't wait to see her compete on floor.
Yeah, she's having a big day. Here's the scores top to bottom. Forget about Watterson at the bottom. They already had the 49.475 locked in. Although now, you know, we said, Justin and Liz might say, what if? They were just short of an all-time score at California. The 49.475 again is the second best all-time. 49.5 is the high water mark for the Golden Bears. Arizona on the floor. Their season average had been a 49.1, so John Court's going to be pleased with this. 49.250. And Allison Fears right in the middle of the lineup win a cool 9.9.
The way she was just able to have control on all of her landings. She's so elegant on this event and just such a joy to watch. And again, she hit a 9.9 last week, and again, she hit it today.
She has that lightness that a freshman brings, but to me there's some maturity already mixed in, which I'm pretty impressed with.
And that's so impressive, again, yeah, like you mentioned, as a freshman, because it sometimes takes a minute to get that in your system, but the way she's able to figure that out so fast is so very impressive, and I'm so happy for her.
So all 5 of Fear's floors this year have been 9.8 or better, and again today goes 9.9. That's 4 straight 49 pluses for Arizona, so they've really taken control of their floor rotation. And now they move to beam. Beam has been a little bit of a different story. They're averaging under a 49, but they put up good scores. 3 times they've gone 49, including the last 2. And of course you have Taylor Spears, the former national champion on balance beam at Oklahoma, coaching the side.
We were just talking about Allison a second ago, but she is very fluid, calm, and confident on this event. Again, very impressive as a freshman to see someone handle balance beam, which can be a scary event. You know, it's a make or break event. A little off center there, but held it together.
This too has been a good event for Allison. 4 of her 5 this year, 9.8 plus. Couple of 9.85s.
She had that balance check right before her jump, so the judges may deduct for a break of connection. 1.5. Sticks that landing, gets those heels together.
So that'll complete the program, the all-around for Fears today. There's your lineup for California on the floor. By my math, California needs a 49-3 rotation to tie their season high, which was 197.525 last week against Utah. Nina Shunk first up.
Gonna open up with a double tuck. Right on, and what I love most about watching Nina on the floor is she just smiles the entire time. She is enjoying herself out there, and it doesn't even look like she's tired, which is impressive to me. Double pike, again, right on. Absolutely love her leg extensions in her leaps. Really brings the artistry to this event. Combination pass. It was good. She's ecstatic. Look at her. Oh, pure joy.
Well, we talked about it at the top, right? California is now the team to beat in this conference. They proved it by beating Utah, but they have to back it up by winning at Arizona State and down in Westwood against the Bruins. Getting ready to work. Lana Dietz.
Flick lay. Had a bit of a balance check there.
She's had back-to-back 9.8s. Her best is a 9.825, second week of the season. She's certainly going after it.
You know, it's always best to not hold back.
Good cover there. Swinging that arm across, rebalance.
That's what's called a front toss. We don't see that too often. Usually we see a front aerial. Great dismount, very dynamic. And I like what you mentioned, that she's going after it. You know, you never want to be timid when you are in artistic gymnastics. It's not really the best approach.
Yeah, it was like she was looking forward to the next skill each time. 9.85 for Shunk. California's on pace for its season best. Again, Nevaeh de Souza.
She's dialed in.
De Souza having a marvelous day. 9.9 vault, 9.85 bars, 9.875 beam. And now she owns the floor.
Opening with a double pike.
Stays in, big step back, but plenty of room. Had a 9.9 last week. That's her season best.
Beautiful leaps. This athlete is so very consistent, and her ability to bring grace yet so much power to this event just really shows how great of an athlete she is. She stays in right there, right in that corner. The 1.5. Sometimes she'll connect that into a stag jump, but she kept it at just landing it, holding it together.
Nevaeh went 39.625 in the all-around last week. Fourth best score in California history, and still lost the all-around to Andy Lee, who was just a little bit better at 39.650. Score on Dietz on the beam was 9.75, so back-to-back 9.75s by Fears and Dietz. Caroline Harry third up. Harry had a 9.75 on vault and a 9.925 on floor.
Did a balance check on that full turn. As I mentioned in the last rotation, may seem like an easy skill, but you never want to overlook it.
You know, it's funny, all of the analysts that I work with, you guys all say that full turn, it looks simple, it looks straightforward.
Yeah.
But it's much more difficult, right?
We had full turn challenges and we had to hit all back-to-back as a team, and you would be surprised how long it took us.
Well, of course, the fear is that you don't put enough behind it to get all the way around. So maybe you overcook it a little bit,
Yep.
and then you got to stop yourself.
Yep.
For Caroline Harry, I believe it's just her second beam of the year. I had a 9.775 last week against Arizona State. This was a good event for her last year, and that was a good routine for her today.
Such a good dismount. She does a back handspring step out to a 1.5, keeping that body straight, those legs squeezed together, and she knew exactly where she was. Held those knees.
So for Taylor Spears, assistant coach on the right, Caroline Harry, the goal for Arizona, of course, is get those 9.7s to 9.8s, start clicking off 49s. They've done it 2 meets in a row on the beam. De Souza 9.9, so it's going to be another good all-around for her. We'll give you the score in a minute. Here's Maya Bordas. Bordas having an incredible day. 9.85 vault, 9.95 on bars, 9.95 on beam. And now she steps to the floor, where she's got 9.8 3 times this year, including a 9.9 last week. A little short.
combination pass. And I've also really noticed how much her performance quality has improved throughout her years here. She most definitely has the upperclassman, the veteran mentality. Beautiful, Rudy, 1.5. Really good. It was truly just that first pass where she landed short, had to take that step forward. But I didn't really see any deductions anywhere else.
Bordas high in the all-around this year at 39.55. Could be close to that. Caroline Harry, season high 9.8 for her on the beam. Malia Hargrove. Hargrove's best of the day just came on the floor, the 9.925. DeSousa's going to go 39.525 in the all-around.
You're going to see a lot of height on this series. She's right on. Flick, lay, lay. Very difficult. Again with the full turn, but she was able to plie and push out of it. Great jump combination again. She gets a lot of height in her skills when she's on this balance beam. Round off 1.5. Looks like she sticks it.
Well, it's her best of the year. We know that for sure. If you get to wear the glasses, are those Valentine's glasses?
I think so. They're
President's
hearts.
Day, though. Couldn't
Hey,
gone with a powdered wig.
Gotta
maybe
spread
today?
the love. We're always gotta spread the love.
9.825 for Bordas. So unfortunately for Bordas, that'll hold her down a little bit in the all-around. And they got her on that first tumbling pass. Milan Klasi.
She has a very energetic floor routine this year. So much fun to watch.
Look at the amplitude. Milan had a 9.85 on vault, a 9.9 on beam. Good to have her back in the lineup.
Really nice lead combination.
Always over 9.8, had a 9.925 against Oregon State.
1.5 front layout into a stag jump. Very unique. And whenever you do jumps out of a tumbling pass, you do need to make sure that you have enough control, because there's been times where you've seen gymnasts do jumps and they're kind of flailing their arms in the air to make sure they get back to the ground, but she had great control there. Double tuck, held on to it. Really love her ending.
Yeah, she's got flair, doesn't she?
She definitely most has flair. Oh my goodness. We saw that same pose on the balance beam and she did it on floor as well.
Hargrove with a 9.9 on beam. Well, it's just what we said, right? They need to turn 9.7s into 9.8s, and why not take some 9.9s as well? Muller and Linton now for Arizona to close it on beam.
You can already tell right off the bat she's very sharp, even with her dance elements. Difficult series, side aerial to a back layout. No problem on that full turn. She even lifted that leg up to give it an extra flare. 1.5 dismount. You did have to take a hop forward. But overall, I think that's going to be a solid score.
Clossie goes 9.85. So that's 4 times 9.8 or better. By the way, the 9.825 for Bordas gives Bordas a 39.575 and the lead in the all-around, but still Andy Lee to come.
The fluidity she brings into her movements as she does this floor routine is so enticing. I think that's the word I'm looking for.
It's a good one.
Just draws you in.
Feet went out from under her.
Yeah, that first pass, she didn't have her feet right under her when she did her punch front. So that's why she shot forward and she wasn't able to have control of that landing. Look at her toes right here. Brings such artistry to this event.
Well, unfortunately, it's going to scuttle her chances in the all-around, but she still had a marvelous day.
Here's that first pass. So you notice she does a front double full. Her feet are too far back behind her, so she's not able to get the rotation for that punch front. So she lands with her feet in front of her, and she has to slide and unfortunately take the fall. And I think she stepped out of bounds too.
And she'd been having a great day. She'd gone 9.85 on vault, 9.925 on bars, and a 9.875 on beam.
Here we go with the double wolf turns for Serena.
Muller got a 9.8, Serena Linton. Final performer of the day for the U of A.
Triple series.
Hold on to it, good cover.
Great cover. Notice how she turned to the judges, did a little pose.
Sure.
Did you see that? I didn't either, judges. Good dismount. She didn't get her heels together, so we'll see what the judges do with that.
All of her scores on beam this year have been 9.825 or better. She had a 9.875 at Arizona State last week, a 9.925 earlier this year.
So she sticks it, but it's also required to get your heels together for it to be complete.
And I know what Taylor Spears, the assistant coach who handles beam for Arizona, is thinking. You look at those scores, they start with Fierce and Deeds going 9.75, then Harry with a season high 9.8, Hargrove 9.9, Muller 9.8, and all you're looking for is another 9.8 plus. And you have a great rotation. They didn't quite get it. We'll see what they give the score for Linton, and then the rotation.
They did build momentum in that rotation, so that's definitely what you want to see.
You get a score yet on Andy Lee on the floor? I've not, there it is. Yep, just a 9.2 with the fall. So here comes Grace Quinn to close the meet. And Grace Quinn on floor for the 4th time. It's her only event today. Had a 9.925 at Stanford and a 9.825 last week.
This is why she's in the anchor spot. You can always count on her to hit, and this is what they need from her right now. Beautiful first pass. Beautiful leaps. Just making sure to hit that 180. And making sure to complete the turns all the way around. The judges look for that as well.
Well, Quinn can close this. California might have a new season high. Arizona ends up having a great meet as well. More on that in a moment.
Double pike. She nails it.
All you have to do is watch your teammates' reaction. And another great day for California.
I just got chills. That ending really felt that one.
And again, it's one of those moments where both teams are going to walk out of here feeling like winners. Arizona has gone over 196 today. Second time they've done that, but it is a road score, so it's their best road score of the year by half a point. 196.025 for Arizona. And now we just have to wait and see if California has bested its 197.525 from last week. It all depends on the final score. So we'll tease you through break. John Court says, yeah, that's 3 good ones in a row. A new road season high for the Gym Cats, 196.025. A beautiful day in the Bay as you look at the bridge, but inside Haas Pavilion, it was even better. The scores are in. California on the floor, a 49.350. It's not their best of the season, but it's above average, and it's enough to push them to a season best 197.575. That is the second week in a row that California, already ranked 9th in the country, already undefeated, first place in the conference, has posted a season best. The Bears are peaking at exactly the right time, and nobody had a better day than the senior Maya Bordas, who joins us now. Maya, season high, and you tie a career high in the all-around. I don't even know if you know this yet. 39.575. What'd you like about your gymnastics?
Well, I felt great out there today, and I actually didn't know that, so thank you for letting me know. But I think that we're at this point in the season where everything's just coming together, all of our numbers, so everything feels really natural, and it's great to see it pay off.
And you mentioned that your goal is to hit a 10. You said hopefully on bars.
We thought you had it.
And I mentioned in the broadcast that, you know, when you have that mindset, you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself to be too perfect. So what are you thinking, you know, as you're going through the season wanting to hit that 10?
Right, so one thing that we really focus on our team, specifically when we compete, is just reminding yourself that just because like one meet might seem more important than another, or one routine might seem more important than another, it's really no different than any other routine you've done. So really just setting your intention, and for us focusing on keywords that we each have our own individual keywords, and for me that really helps stay focused and locked in and try not to let like outside things get to my head.
Maya, because of the performance that you guys put on last week against Utah with the 197.525, and we were already saying it after that, and now you've gone even better. We've said that California is the best team in this conference. We thought it was Utah for the first 4 weeks. Now it's the Golden Bears. Why are you the best team? I know you believe you are.
I think that we're the best team because we know how to do what we need to do under any circumstance. We are really prepared with our training, and I feel like we are really good at just like keeping our composure, and any obstacle that comes in our way, we're prepared to handle it, and I think that adversity has really prepared us to be where we are right now.
Mike, congratulations on another great day for the Bears. 39.575. You tie a career high in the all-around. Best of luck next week. Maya Bordas, senior for California. Her lowest score today was a 9.825 on floor. Everything else was fantastic. A couple 9.95s on bars and beam. Our Zayo connection with Maya Bordas. That is going to do it. For Alan Brum, your producer, Tim Lay, your director, my partner, Janae Honest, I'm Jim Watson. Saying so long from Haas Pavilion, where California, for the second week in a row, has posted a season best 197.575, and Arizona, their best road score of the year, 196.025.